Welcome to the X Room podcast. I'm Maylee Nelson.
Sean Finnegan.
Woo, what's up? And today we get to interview Ryan. What's up,
What's
Ryan?
up, guys? Hey, so excited to be here with you. It's gonna be great.
fun.
I had a personal experience with Ryan, so I've known him for a long time. We've ran staircase events together, everything else. We go way back. And I always respected what he's done. I've seen his social, everything else. He leads with value. And I was like, man, there's got to be a way that we can work together. And then finally, just things kind of, relationships take time. So I'd known you for a long time. Yeah. And then we finally got together and I figured out what you were doing and what we were doing at Tax Hive. And it was like such a great fit. We're like, perfect. I have not had a closer hand in glove fit to this relationship. And now since that was maybe 6 months ago, and we've done a ton of business together.
We've done a ton of business. And I'll tell you how it all came about. This is the secret. It came about on the mountain bike.
Yes.
I really think every great revelation, every great experience, you got to get outside. You got to get outside of your normal comfort zone. Get out, really connect with someone. That's when we broke it all down and said, wait, you're doing that, I'm doing that. It's perfect.
Yeah, so if you're watching this, stop what you're doing, go buy a bike and go hit the mountain because you can do a lot of deals, right?
I'm telling you, that's where it happens.
Yeah, amen to
How
that.
can you hear you guys? How can you hear each other when you're mountain biking?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you're like, I don't know, your blood's flowing. You just whatever you do say, it's just connecting. It's perfect.
Okay, so we obviously need to take Maylee.
Obviously,
you can check
so
it out.
To the top of the mountain.
Yeah,
Let's
you
go.
can do a lot more real estate, Maylee.
Yep.
Okay, all right, more real estate. I'm down, obviously. That's fantastic. Okay, so kind of how we, structure the X Room podcast and why, Sean created the X Room in the first place was just understanding like that X moment in your life. And so to kind of guide us to that moment, we want to hear kind of your lowest of low, maybe the spot that was like, okay, this is the moment where I'm at sink or swim.
Okay.
Right?
Man, I'll tell you, there's a few of them. I think anyone that's been in the game long enough, you have a few of those moments, but it was the first one that really tested my commitment and my resolve. That book right there is really a book about my story, right? I followed the traditional path to finance. I got a job, put my money in a 401k, thought I was going to retire early. 2008 hit, I realized I had no control. Realized without control, how could I ever plan on retiring early? And it was such a perfect moment in time for me because I'd been out of college for about 5 years. I was saving as much as I could. I had just over, 6 figures in my brokerage account and 401k. I thought I was on track. And when 2008 happened, I remember all my coworkers, they're 20, 30 years ahead of me. These are the people I was kind of modeling my life after. And I realized, man, their retirement dreams are falling apart in front of them. I'm on that same track and I'm somehow expecting to retire early. That shifted my gears to where I started looking for alternative ways to take more control. It led me to buying real estate and doing life insurance of all things and putting those two things in combination with each other. And after 4 years, I had enough cash flow to quit my job.
Hey-yo.
It was awesome. It was amazing. And so I quit my job. I had no idea what I was going to do, but I started having people ask me.
This is also 2008, by the way.
2012 now.
Oh, 2012. So 2008 is when you started kind of pivoting. And saying, I need to take control of my life here. Which is also, a lot of people were running from real estate at that point.
And it was the stupidest luck ever. It's not like I timed the market, but I was buying properties like a pennies on the dollar. Everyone was running. I'm like, that looks like a good deal. That looks like a good deal. I bought 17 properties in 4 years.
Wow.
And I quit. And it was really interesting because when I quit, I didn't know what I was going to do. But I had people asking me, how'd you do it? Can you show me? And so I started showing people how to do it. And eventually it led me to a mutual relationship of ours. I won't say it on the podcast.
Right.
I joined his team. And for 3 years, man, we crushed it together. I mean, it was amazing. We crushed it. I was making more money than I'd ever made in my entire life, helping people put this system together. And after 3 years of doing that with him, he's like, you know what? It's too risky. Like real estate brings an element of uncertainty to what we're doing. We're not going to do it anymore. And even though we were crushing it together, I'm like, yeah, we're going to do it. And I wasn't a partner in his business. I was technically a sole proprietor, independent contractor. And I walked away from more money than I've ever made in my entire life. He actually canceled some of my contracts in the insurance industry because he was a leader there. And so I couldn't actually make money for 1 year. And I had to look that in the face and say, okay, I'm going to go into the pit of not making money for 1 year. I'm going to lose a phenomenal friendship. I'm going to walk away from making easily $500,000. I could do that for the rest of my life, right? I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it because I believe in something bigger than selling a product. And that year ended up testing me in so many ways. But it's really odd. When you can't make money for an entire year, you learn a lot of really interesting lessons. And that year taught me more, and I really believe it's the playbook for what eventually came out as the book that you're holding in your hands. But And that year, it hit me to the bottom, knocked me, like took my breath away, knocked me down, but it showed me the resolve that when you're committed to something, it's part of the process. It taught me more lessons that I never could have learned had I not gone through the abyss with the resolve to come out on the other side.
What was the most valuable lesson during that time?
Man, I'll never forget. These are some of the best moments, right? When you have nothing other than you're sitting on I remember my first team meeting. It was me. I hired a new assistant, and I had a insurance agent that I brought onto my team.
Cardboard table.
Yeah. We only had one chair.
Perfect.
Right.
Like one chair, and we had a whiteboard, and I was propping it up on a cardboard box.
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
And that's when we mapped it out.
Yeah.
We
Heck
mapped
yeah.
out like what is like legit in there. We mapped out the financial freedom formula, the core four, the 4 pillars, velocity. We mapped it all out and said, look, this is what works. Let's now put it into a framework and a system that we can go teach people how to implement that framework. And that was really the foundation of everything, that's in that book. And so hardest, best year of my life.
I love those stories. You know, Jeff Bezos had his original desk was a door, famous door. It was this white, worn out door. That's where you did, like you hear all these inception points for these entrepreneurs. They're in a garage. We're here at iHub right now.
Yeah.
There's 200 of these scrappy entrepreneurs.
I love it.
Trying to get this thing off the ground, right?
Yeah,
It's so
incubator.
powerful.
Yeah, it's so good. What made you, so you're doing the coaching now, right? And obviously we're going to talk about your highest of high here. But, so Robert Kiyosaki?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, Robert Kiyosaki, Robert Allen.
Robert G? Like what?
Got to write the book with my mentors, man. Honestly, it started, so I've been doing this business now for 10 years.
Okay.
And about 4 years ago, we had kind of the crescendo. We had our biggest event. We had we did it at Sundance. We had 250 people there. They're all wearing their black shirts. It says, Rise Up, Live Free. And I'm like, you know what? I'm so grateful for the people. I've been referencing and crediting Bob Allen and Robert Kiyosaki, in all my books, or not my books, but my webinars and my podcasts. I'm like, these guys are the guys who taught me everything.
Literally, that's what I do too.
Yeah. And so I'm like, how do I get these people here to where I can show them some love, right? And so Bob Allen was able to make that event, and I'll never forget. It was during COVID.
Oh, wow.
It was during COVID, and we weren't. I don't know, but anyway, my biggest fear was, Bob, I'm going to invite you here, but like I don't want to kill you, right? I don't want to kill you. He came, didn't wear a mask, none of that stuff, but he stood on stage, and we gave him, he stood out in front of everyone, and we just gave him. We'd never done this before. We give out awards in our community, but we gave him the Lifetime Achievement Award. Because he taught me and gave me some visibility when I hit the lowest of the low in my financial plan. I'll never forget where I was, how I felt when I read his book. And the idea of retiring in 10 years came from his book, Creating Wealth. And he gave me the playbook for Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And so we stood him on the stage and we said, look, we exist. This strategy exists because of you. Your lifetime achievement is you did something, you dropped a pebble into a water that had a ripple effect.
For sure.
And this is your ripple effect.
Aww.
And it was so phenomenal to bring him out and just honor him and show some love to him. He's BFFs with Robert Kiyosaki, so shortly after that, I got to connect with him. And, when I was writing this book, I wanted nothing more than, again, just to bring these guys into my world to say, look, I don't know what you want for the future, but I want to carry your torch forward. And so both of them, Robert Allen wrote the book with me, and Robert Kiyosaki highly collaborated on the book with us. And so it was tremendously rewarding to say thank you and to realize just the value of a legacy. I mean, those guys have created a massive legacy.
Oh, yeah. I forced my kids to play cash flow.
Totally.
Like, hey, cash flow. We're all
It's
playing
the
it.
best.
And now they're obsessed,
Learn one
right?
play.
Like they bring all their friends over and we have like 10 board games going. Like I love it. I love that was Robert's like dream, right?
Totally.
It's just like, hey, I want every household to play this game and understand how to actually, like the game of wealth isn't what people think it is, right? It has nothing to do with what people think it is. It's pretty sad.
It's pretty sad. And also, most people want to separate these two things. But what I really tried to do with this is there is a game of money. That game of money, like any game, has rules. And if we really understand what money is something we trade our time for. So the game of money is a game of time. And if we lose the game of money, we're losing the game of life. Legit, because if money equals time, time equals life. And if most people spend the best years of their life working for not enough money and have not enough to show for it, and all the dreams that they once had just kind of fade away into the background.
That was good. You better write that down.
Yeah, let's use that one.
That was some good nuggets.
Couple of two-parter for you. First, why is faith important to you? And number two is, why do you talk about the American freedom, and why is freedom so important to you? I know that's part of your brand.
Yeah, man. Both of those are tremendously powerful for me. For me, I was born really sick. I mean, I'll never forget the way I grew up. I grew up in Children's Hospital of Orange County. They kept a wagon for me outside of the hospital or outside of my room because I was there so much. I had debilitating asthma, debilitating allergies. And my mom teases me that my first word was don't, and my first sentence was don't, doctor, because I was just always getting shot.
Poked and everything.
It's always on the verge of like suffocating. I couldn't breathe. And I remember from a very young age, my mom, when women really probably didn't step up and express their opinion or couldn't express their opinion to doctors and professionals, she told the doctor no. She's like, the doctor wanted me to arrive safely at death, right? Don't run, don't play, don't go outside, and you'll be safe. And my mom's like, that's no way to live. And I remember whenever I would get an asthma attack, she would scratch the back of my head and she'd whisper into my ear, Ryan, you're stronger than you know, you're braver than you give yourself credit for, and you can do hard things. You're stronger than you know, you're braver than you give yourself credit for, and you can do hard things. Over and over and over again. And so for my entire life, as I push those limits and push those boundaries and barriers in my life, I realized that life has meaning, life has purpose. And the purpose of life was lost for me for a period of time, graduating college, getting a job, sitting in a cubicle, answering to other people, and thinking, man, I'll just do this for 40 years and hopefully one day I find my purpose again. One day I find my fire again. And, I lost myself for a while. And I felt like that was a good thing for me, because when I lost myself and I had some context of what it meant to be me and feel like me, I knew I wanted it back. And so for me, faith comes down to one thing. Money is a tool, but it's not like the purpose of a tool isn't to be a tool. The purpose of a tool is to do something. It's to build something, right? And I've always felt like humans, all of us, we have these God-given talents. We have these God-given abilities and divine desires. And when we tap into those things, they get us to move. They get us to face the fear, do the hard thing. Like when I found myself in the abyss, it was because I was moving forward on faith, because I knew I was called for something more. I knew I had more in me to give, and that drove me through. And I think the rarest currency of all, it's not a rate of return, it's fulfillment. And you can only find fulfillment when you're tapping into and using your God-given talents in the service of other people. And so for me, that's why faith is important. Yeah. The problems that we see in the world, they exist for a reason, to wake us up, to remind us that, man, Sean, Bailey, you have talents that solve my problems. And if you're not awake, my life's not as good as it could be, because you solve problems in my life that make my life better. And I do the same for other people. And if we can rise to that occasion as humanity, we find fulfillment, we help others, we achieve our greatest potential. And the greatest thing about the economy of people working together is exchange creates wealth, real wealth. Like, Sean, when you're at your best ability, like you create wealth in my life because you do things I can never do. Like you're putting a room I can't do this.
Yeah, that's
you
fun.
can.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well said. I mean, that was so powerful.
So amazing. Oh my gosh, so many golden nuggets.
Yeah.
Good takeaways for sure. If you were to think of the one thing that, obviously most of our followers and our listeners are entrepreneurs, right? And a lot of them are just like, right? Being an entrepreneur is so hard. It is so difficult to just rein in that energy every morning and be like, okay, I'm going to fight this fight again. What would be the thing that you would leave them just that would inspire them to keep going and to know
we'll make
that
this the final hack.
Final hack, man.
Yeah.
I wish I had that answer, dude. I wish I did. I'll be vulnerable and honest with you. And you know, Peter, you know my gym at my house. We were working out this morning, and we were both acknowledging the fact that we're exhausted. It's been such a fun, hard year. Yeah. And we're working out this morning and finding the energy to get up and do it all over again, right?
You're saying there's no easy path?
I don't think there's
that's probably the right answer, though. I hate that people are very, I don't know who started thinking that this was a good idea of like, oh, there's an easy button. Who's created, is
Still
there?
waiting for that.
Well,
I don't think that that's a thing, right?
I remember I went to Garrett White. So back in the day, this was one of the other benefits of being in the abyss for 1 year where I couldn't make money. I was trying to find my courage, right? I was trying to find my courage, and Garrett White was doing Warrior Weeks back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
I paid him $10,000. I went to the beaches of Southern California and let that guy torture me for 3 straight days. And I'll never forget one of the times that he put us through this. It was crazy. I mean, the entire event was made to break you. It was just meant to break you. Like, if you didn't break, the event would continue until everyone broke at some point.
Kind of hell week.
It was, and that was the purpose of that was to break, realize you're not alone, and you can do something that's way harder than you give yourself credit for, especially when you tap into a divine, deeper purpose, and you're what he called it a swim buddy, right? Someone by your side to help pick you up. Yeah. And so everyone breaks. And I remember, man, he had us, we were all linked in the arms, right? We had to walk out into the ocean, and we had to lay down with our head, and the waves, we couldn't see them. The waves would crash over us, right? And they would suffocate you. Yeah. It was like basically waterboarding.
Wow.
And it would not stop until they said it was going to stop. And I remember one guy, we had probably been doing this for maybe 5 minutes, and 5 minutes felt like an eternity as the water's crashing over your head. And I remember every time the waves would come through, I would just grit my teeth, close my eyes. When's it going to be over? When's it going to be over? When's it going to be over? And I remember his coach, we called him the terrorist because that's how he acted. That's
a good name.
Yeah, it was great. But I remember he said, boys, open your eyes. Open your eyes. You'll never be here again. And I remember opening my eyes, and although I was gritting my teeth and closing my eyes trying to just get through it and bear it, I remember when I looked up, the sun was rising, the sky was perfectly blue. Yeah. It was such a surreal experience that in the moment of a piece of torture, that you could find the beauty in that. And the lesson that I learned from that one thing is when we're waiting for the finish line, when we're just gritting our teeth and trying to bear it, and we're waiting for it to get better on the other side, it's not better or worse there. It wasn't better or worse yesterday. It is what it is. Yep. Like, be comfortable with the idea that there is no finish line. Yeah. There is no better. Life is 50-50. It's awesome, it's bad, but it's what the context that gives life meaning. And I remember, I'll never forget that. I mean, it was the funniest little thing that I opened my eyes. I'm like, oh, this is a really pretty morning. Boom, wave crash over you. I can't breathe and see anymore. But it was such a funny little learning experience for me. And I had so many of those with Garrett at that little 3-week just hell week that he put us through, or 3-day hell week that he put us through. So, yeah, man, that's
I think the greatest takeaway is, like, during those hard times, look up.
Look up. Oh,
yeah.
Think about God, look up, and just look at the blue sky. Things are going to be okay. Sometimes it's a lonely place down there. And if you just take a moment of gratitude and understand, hey, look how far we've come. Yeah. Right?
And how do you battle buddy?
Battle buddy, yeah. Right. And context is so powerful. When you do look up, look how far you've come. You can only realize that in hindsight. You're like, oh my gosh, I have made some progress. This is going well.
What great advice.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. So amazing. Well, thank you so much, Ryan, for being here. Thanks for my new book. I'm so excited. And if you would like a new book, where can they find it? Yeah, man. I got a special opportunity for the podcast listeners. If you go to retirein10years.com, so 10 is the number, retirein10years.com/podcast, we got a free book for you. Free book. So this book also comes with the most amazing companion course where you have calculators. You can literally chart your path to financial freedom in 10 years or less. So. Oh my gosh. Awesome. Yes. So excited. Well, this has been an absolute pleasure, a dream come true. This has been fantastic. Thank you for watching The X Room. Please obviously give us a like, ring that bell if you would like to hear more content from other incredible entrepreneurs. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, guys.